What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Panda here, and today we're playing some more Watcher of Realms. If you watched the video that I left out this morning, that was my guild boss in the very early stages of the game, within the first week. And today I have updated information about my guild boss, and so I wanted to sort of run you through the changes that I've made, the things that I have learned, so that you can see a comparison from that first couple attempts in the early game versus, you know, going on, I think 20 days I am on today, 20 or 21 days today, so about 3 weeks into the game. You know, it's a kind of a drastic difference between week 1 and week 3 if you push and make the progress that I've been able to make in the last several weeks. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my stream here, because you'll be able to see exactly what I did. I'm gonna have it play in the background, and I'll kind of just sort of discuss what we did. So a lot of the team is the same, except for the newer stuff that we've pulled, so we're using a lot of similar things. But you'll see one of the biggest things that's changed here is that we do have the Nightmare boost, and we have the full Nightmare boost. And so what we're doing is we're dropping our Cetrum, we're dropping our Zillatu, because those are the two people that I need to get the ultimates on as fast as possible. Then we're dropping our Nightmare units. So we drop Deimos, we drop Komodo, we remove Komodo because we're not actually using him, we're just using him for that Nightmare buff. We drop Wrath, followed by Hatsut, followed by Mari, followed by Dolores, and followed by our final unit, which is Vortex, who is our solo healer. Now we have 6-starred him, and we've built him up pretty well. We have him max skilled now, which is really powerful. We've also gotten a couple more skill ups on our other champions, including Wrath has a couple, we gave Cetrum a couple, so his ultimate overloaded damage is a little bit stronger. We've also built up some totally new sets for our champions. We're going to go ahead and go over that once we're done watching this. But one of the things that's important really is making sure you time things right. You see here that I drop things down to 1x speed. The reason why I do this at certain parts of the game is so that I can get the timing just right in order to get the maximal amount of stuff. So you'll see here that right about halfway through this second meteorite impact is when I start popping the ultimates on my DPS champions. The reason I do this is because Cetrum has a very long animation. Zillatu's ultimate lasts a very long time, and I want to get as many of these ultimates off as possible. And because I know I'm going to blow through the shield, I can pop them a little bit early, blow through the shield, and still have them up for the huge damage phase after the shield blows. So you'll see here we're already reaching that 5k mark, which is miles and beyond what you saw in that previous video. And it's really because of the testing phase that I've been doing. If you watch my streams, you'll know that I test my guild boss on the next difficulty almost every single stream. And that's because I just want to be able to see where I'm at in terms of progressing in the guild boss. So for example, in the guild I was in before, I was 1 keying Nightmare 1 and 1 keying Nightmare 2, and I would test on Nightmare 3 because I wanted to see if I could get to that 6,500 box. And now that I've joined a higher up guild, I'm doing Nightmare 2, Nightmare 3, and testing on Nightmare 4. Now, of course, I still need to make some more progress on Nightmare 3 because I am only getting that 6,500 box still. But you'll see here that I got a ton of damage. Just yesterday was my first actual attempt of successfully completing a Nightmare 3 run, and I only had about 7,500 blood. Here we're already past 8,000. So in just a single day with just a couple upgrades, I was able to get a very large chunk of extra blood on my team. And really the goal now is to get a 10,000 blood run so that I can just use 2 keys and get that top chest on Nightmare 3. But you'll see there I got 15% of the damage in that one run, which is, in my opinion, just phenomenal. And we're going to go ahead and look at the damage numbers here as well. We pull it up on stream. And then we're also going to quickly look at our Nightmare 4 progression because I think, again, testing is very important because you'll be able to get a ton of extra stuff. So you'll see here that was my previous run of 78.35, and now we have a run of 85.57. So we got about 700 or so additional blood, 600-700 additional blood in literally just a single day. right? We went from yesterday to today's run, and this was the increase that we got, right? Which personally I think is kind of crazy. So, but here we go. We're going to take a look at some damage numbers here. There it is. So here is our damage numbers. So we hit over 20 million on Deimos. This was because of an increase in getting him to A3 because we got lucky on the Guild Boss rewards. That was a very large. Getting him to A3 gives him that extra tearing stack, which is really, really powerful. Of course, A5 gives him that defense penetration, so you really do want to try and get that as soon as possible. But this is still really awesome, guys. I'm really happy with this. And I'm really excited to test out here in Nightmare 4. So let me go ahead and here we go. We're right into the Nightmare 4 run. We do the exact same strat. Nothing here changes. We're dropping in our Nightmare units. We're dropping in everything in the exact same order. What I was concerned about here was if my Vortex was going to be able to solo heal. And realistically, I didn't think the answer was going to be yes. I don't think I have quite enough gear to make that viable. But I wanted to give it a try. I wanted to see where we were. And you'll see that I'm running this entire run on 1x speed. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to be able to make sure that I can exit the battle before I die and or before I miss a shield, which in turn means dying. So you'll see here, we're about to hit this second meteorite impact, and we are not anywhere near max health on most of our champions, and you'll see that Mari does end up dying. But we decided to go ahead and give it a try because we are still making progress. We're getting some good damage numbers, and again, we're testing here. We wanted to see what we could do. We pop all of our ultimates, and we do clear that first shield. So this is already a pretty large milestone, right? We cleared the full shield, we've broken 2,000 blood, and we're actually going to be able to get our Mari back down to get that damage boost here pretty shortly because of the time frame in between stuff, right? So we get the roar coming in, we take some damage, we're popping our hot set whenever we can, we're popping our vortex to get those shields and those heals back up so that we can hopefully be full for the infernal roar and then also again full for the next meteorite impact. So we do actually make it into the second shield here. You'll be able to see the damage we can do on the second shield, and you'll see that we are lagging a bit behind, right? So this is really that point where you need to be careful and make sure that you don't screw up and exit at the wrong time. So you'll see here that I was able to make it a decent way through this second shield. For our first actual attempt, I felt pretty good about this, right? I felt pretty good that we did a good job of getting past that first shield, but then also getting into that second shield. And so you'll see our first official score for Nightmare 4 is 2658 blood. Now, obviously, we're not going to keep this run. The reason we're not going to keep this run is because we're not clearing Nightmare 4, and this is not worth a chest for me. So we go ahead and we'll hop back into the game here. So these are our official numbers, so we can take a little more of an in-depth look here. This is our Nightmare 2 run, okay? We have 8676 blood. That's 41.31% of the boss's health on Nightmare 2. And this is our damage totals, right? We had 25 million damage on our Deimos, almost 18 on our Setrum, 15.5 on our Wrath. We got a very good Wrath set that I will show off here shortly. 11.7 on our Zillitu, 8.7 on our Hats, and then negligible damage on Mari, negligible healing on Dolores, and a good chunk of healing from Vortex. Then we go into Nightmare 3, and you'll see we actually have a pretty similar blood account, right? And here, in Nightmare 2, our blood count was 8676. In Nightmare 3, our blood count is 8557. So, surprisingly pretty close. And our damage numbers look pretty much the same. We're off by just a little bit, right? We have 21 instead of 25, 13 instead of 15, but we're still in the roughly the same ranges in most of these people. So that is where we are at in Guild. I want to show you what we have done. Oh, let me pick this up. You always got to make sure you're buying stuff as they pop up, guys. Buy all the stuff. Buy all the stuff. All right, guys. So let's go into our builds here. So this is our Setrum build. You'll notice something is a little bit different about our Setrum build now, and that is this piece right here. This is not the best piece in the world, right? It's not an attack boost, it's not a crit damage boost, it's attack speed main stat. But look at the subs, guys. Attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, rage regen, all purple stats, because this is an ancient piece, right? So we decided to use this for a couple reasons. This is something that I don't think a lot of people realize. I know I for sure didn't realize it. But Cetrum's ultimate, basically what it does is it reduces the damage each shot deals to 25%, but then it gradually increases your attack speed throughout the ultimate. Once you reach the attack speed cap, you become overloaded. And what this does is it increases your damage by 70% while you're overloaded. The sooner you can get to overloaded, the more damage you can get, because you'll be in this state for still a very long period of time, right? It's 15 seconds long. If it takes you 10 seconds to get to max attack speed, you only have 5 seconds of overloaded. If it takes you 5 seconds to get to max attack speed, you have 10 seconds of overloaded, which effectively doubles your damage during your ultimate. So this is something that I think is very, very important that a lot of people don't realize. I didn't realize this. And so putting attack speed on him as a main stat is not necessarily a bad option, because the higher attack speed you're at to start, the quicker you will get to that max attack speed. But also you'll see we have 78% crit rate. Now, right now, this is not ideal for me. We are missing a little bit of attack speed for where my build is now, and that's because we don't have this passive maxed. Once you get this passive maxed, you are at 22% additional crit chance from this passive. 22 plus 78 is 100. So I've left this build here, and I know that I will slowly increase my damage as I get skill ups that I can put into Centrum, and that will be a very nice boost. We also have 23.5% rage regen. I'd like this to be a little bit more. As you saw there towards the end, we were not quite able to hit that Centrum ultimate in the last phase. We got to like 99 in the last 10 seconds. He got, I think, 1 or 2 hits off. So if we could get a little more rage regen, we'd be in a better spot. But ultimately, I think it's a pretty solid build. Then we have our Wrath build. This is the build I'm really, really proud of, guys. So this is a build that has some pretty solid stats on it. We got some pretty decent drops, and we were able to actually complete a set in both departments. So we have this relatively decent crit damage set. It's got 3 good stats, low rolls, but still pretty good. Then we have this beautiful piece right here with a gold attack bonus stat, as well as having a flat attack roll that is pretty decent as well. Then we come over here and we have, again, it's a crit rate piece, which is not the best piece in the world, but it has perfect substats, guys. Perfect substats. Really high rolls, even though they're not quite purple in these 3 areas. Very close to purple. Beautiful ring. Then we go down here and we have an attack bonus ring with triple good substats, and then down here attack bonus with 2 good substats in both attack and rage regen. Also, running crit rate on my ring, or sorry, on my bangle, allows me to not have to worry about having crit rate on our ring or on our breastplate, right? And we have a low crit rate roll here on our weapon. So we're able to, because of Wrath's built-in 15% crit rate, and by running this 60% crit rate bangle, we're able to hit the max crit rate while still having more than double the attack and having a good chunk of crit damage due to some pretty decent rolls into crit damage, right? So that, I think, is probably the thing I'm the most excited about, because it's a very phenomenal boost. But then we also come down here to our Deimos. Deimos is not currently wearing his gear, so don't worry about that. But we were able to get him to Awakened 3, which increases the tearing stack to 1 more. And what that means is you can get a 7th stack of tearing, which means you're able to get an additional 15% damage, which is just very, very powerful. Highly recommend. Once you get your Wrath to A3, I recommend putting your next 3 soul stones into Deimos if you have him, so you can get him to A3, and potentially even take him straight to A5 depending on where you are in the game. I know personally I'm going to be taking my Wrath to A5 on day 45, because I'm going to get the free copy of Wrath, which will take him to A4, and then I'll use another soul stone that I will make sure I save at that point in order to take him to A5. But until then, he doesn't really do much, you know, at A4, right? Yes, it's 5% penetration, which is nice, but it's not crazy. And I don't want to waste a soul stone on a champion that I know I'm going to get a copy of. So we're keeping him at A3. Hopefully we pull one and we won't have to use a soul stone. And then we could take him to A5 on day 45. And if not, we'll use a soul stone to take him to A5 then anyways. But guys, really, Guild Boss can be a very quick moving thing. guys. You just need to be testing. You need to be trying to get down the exact things in terms of positioning and timing, and don't be afraid to put it on one-time speed. Again, I use one-time speed all the time in Guild Boss, and I use it in other places as well, right? But being able to get to this chest right here and having a chance at Legendary Hero Soul Stones, I think is probably one of the biggest things that you can do for your account, because being able to start getting chances at this, even minuscule chances, if I were to get one of these tomorrow, it could be game-changing. So guys, that is going to cover my Guild Boss for today. I'm really excited to be able to show you within the same day the changes that I was able to make from one Guild Boss to the next. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please make sure to hit the like button and comment down below with what's your favorite champion to use in Guild Boss, and also maybe what's your favorite aspect of Guild Boss. Do you like Guild Boss? Do you not like Guild Boss? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more content from me, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, because it really helps me grow the channel. But guys, that is it for me today. I really hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.